out there first.
Yep.
I know there are a couple days of practice left, but can we expect that both quarterbacks will play kind of like what you've been doing the first 4 games?
Yeah, absolutely. Kelly's done nothing wrong. I mean, he's played well, but it's really no different than our scrimmages and our practices all fall camp. Some scrimmages, Trevor ran out first. Some series, Trevor ran out first. Some Kelly ran out first, and those guys just played. And that was one thing I was really proud of Kelly about all fall camp is he just focused on him and playing well when he was in there, whether he was with the ones, whether he was with the twos, whether he subbed him in a series, it didn't matter. And he came out a little ahead after camp, and so that's where we were. But competition went onto the field. We've played 4 games now, and it's a difficult thing, man. It's a tough day, but it's just where we are. I've told y'all that many times. If we saw a change, if there was a change, we'd probably all know it. And that's what happened Saturday. And Kelly didn't do anything wrong. He played well. But Trevor just exceeded. I mean, he's really, after 4 games, productivity and just the sheer data, he deserves to run out there first, this game. Again, just like we changed it up all fall camp. But that doesn't mean Kelly, doesn't deserve to play. Man, we trust Kelly. We believe in Kelly. Kelly's a great football player. He's the MVP of the ACC championship. This guy started, 18 games or whatever. He's a good football player, and he's already helped us win, and he'll continue to help us win. But that's where we are this week. But we're very fortunate to have 2 guys that can play, because one of them's going to be hot. The chances of them both being cold is probably not real good. So we like where we are, and again, it's really not anything that's not natural because that's the way it's been, all camp. And so I'm excited for Trevor. I think he's earned it, and that's really it. But we're definitely going to continue to get number 2 in there, and I know he'll continue to play well.
Every opponent has kind of a different way they stress you. What thing about Syracuse caused you to, quote, lose the most sleep at night as far as what they do schematically or personnel-wise or so?
Yeah, I mean, just, offensively. I mean, they're kind of like you played the triple option last week. Well, they're like the complete polar opposite. I mean, you just couldn't have more different philosophies, styles of play, etc. And that's what you're playing back-to-back weeks. But their tempo, this quarterback, some of the skill guys that they have, they schematically just how they formation you and just force you to run. They just force you to run. So that's why I said our depth is going to have to come up for us. We're going to have to do a great job on the perimeter in defeating, one-on-one blocks and negating some of their screen game, which makes them go. If you can take that stuff away, you got a much better chance. And then I think they're good up front. I mean, I thought they knocked us back last year. That's a challenge too. But our job is to get them ready. We will.
Coach, have you seen anything on tape that has caused Trevor to maybe be more productive, or has it simply just been an execution thing week by week?
Yeah, just execution. I mean, he's just made some unbelievable plays. I don't have it in front of me, but he's like, I don't know, he's got a bunch of touchdown drives, a bunch. So he's just been very, very productive. And again, Kelly's been very productive. Kelly's not done anything. This is not a situation where a guy's played bad, and all of a sudden you're like, this isn't that case. Both these guys have played really well, so this is just rewarding the performance that we've seen, and just the productivity that we've seen.
What was that conversation with Kelly like when you told him?
It's a bad day to be the head coach. It's a bad day to be the head coach. Most days it's good. It's a bad day, because I love Kelly. This is one of the, it's emotional. Emotional for him. Tough day. I mean, I gave him the day off last night. It was a rough afternoon. We don't get him here till 4 o'clock. And And, you know, I met with him yesterday afternoon, and you know, just Schrader had already met with him on Sunday and talked through it, and I texted with him and said, hey, let's sit down, you know, Monday, and so we met yesterday afternoon. It was emotional. It was tough. It's tough because he's played well, and there's not a guy that's ever been here. It's, as long as I've been at Clemson, there's not a guy that's more committed to this program than Kelly Bryant. And there's not a better leader. This guy is he's the epitome of what you want. He's what you want your son to be like. You know, I mean, I love him like a son, and so it is a very difficult conversation, and he's very disappointed. But you know, I don't have any doubt that he'll show up and go back to work and respond. You know, so. But it was tough. I mean, listen, I'm glad God ain't a coach. I can tell you that. I can tell you I'm glad, because as a coach you have to be critical. You know, you've got to rank people. It's hard, man. And I'm thankful that God ain't that way. You know, with God, he's everybody's first team. You know, there is no first team, second team, third team. You know, we're all 5 stars with God. You know, we all got an eternal contract with warranty. You know, we're under warranty. So I'm glad God ain't a football coach. I know that, and that's not a good. I hate being in that situation, but that's my job. You know, my job is to critique, judge, evaluate, hold people accountable, be fair, and do what's right. And you know, so it doesn't make it easier, but where we are, what we're doing this weekend is what's right. It's just what's right, and we'll see where we go from there. So it's tough. It's hard. You know, it really is. I mean, it's tough. You know, I always tell people, you know, it doesn't always go our way, and you know, you just got to respond. And when we have adversity in our life, or it doesn't go our way, you know, it can destroy you, it can define you, or develop you. And you know, my hope is that this will continue to develop Kelly into being the player that he is, being even a better version of himself, and just continuing to grind and be who he's been. So it's a hard conversation when you have to do that as a coach. It's not something that I enjoy or anything like that, but again, it's my job. It's my job.
I know that you feel like you can run your whole playbook with both guys, but how much more diverse does Trevor make your offense with the vertical passing?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no question he has just elite ability to push the ball down the field. I mean, that's pretty obvious to see. But Kelly's also demonstrated that he can do everything that we need him to do in that regard. He's demonstrated that this year. But you know, just because a guy's got a stronger arm, that don't mean that you can't run the same offense. But that's not accurate. Kelly, if he'd shown he couldn't do it, that'd be different. But Kelly has worked his tail off, and he can do everything that we need him to do. We don't have to change the offense for either one of these guys. You know, a lot of people think, you know, Trevor can't run. Trevor can run, and the more he plays, the more you'll see that.
Dabo, was there any, did it enter the thought process or the conversation at all that barring an injury, Kelly could sit the rest of the year and transfer and still have a full year left? Did that come up at all?
We talked about a lot of things. You know, I'm not going to get into details of our conversation, but we talked about a lot of things. Like I said, it was emotional, and there were a lot of things that we did talk about. And you know what? If I was worried about that, or I was deceitful in some way or something like that, you know, I could have huddled the coaches up and said, hey, let's make sure we start him for Syracuse, and you know, that way he's got no option. You know, that's not how I operate. I don't think like that. I don't operate that way. I mean, I'm just trying to do what's right, and I'm not going to ever apologize for that. But we talked about lots of things. It was a deep, long, emotional conversation, and you know, something that we needed to talk through and go from there. But yeah, certainly if he walked in here today and said, "Hey, coach, I don't want to play the rest of the year unless you got to have me," well, okay, that's what you want to do. I mean, I'm all for it. I love Kelly, and I would be disappointed in that because we need him. But you know, I wouldn't judge him on that.
Did he convey to